Jim, I have a question here on Twitter using the hashtag CornyDriveThru from Eugene A.J. Freeman. Why was JYD
Wait a minute, he's got entirely too many names and or initials. Pick one and stick with it.
Well, here is Eugene A.J. Freeman's question. No relation to Ace Freeman, but here it is.
What about AJ Styles? Go ahead.
Why was JYD never a world champion? He was an immensely popular wrestler who drew large crowds, but never won a world championship for either Mid-South or WWF. His drug habits have been well documented, but when could the dog have won a world title?
Never. Besides, there was no Mid-South World Championship. He was the North American champion, which was the top singles belt in Mid-South. He was never, ever going to win the WWF title. And it comes down to you have to use an attraction in his best light. If Hulk Hogan was Jack Briscoe next to JYD technically in the ring. Even when Dog was in shape, when he was still lifting weights and he hadn't got fat, he was jacked up. He had a great looking body, but he had the power slam and the tackle and the headbutt and the, few things, and you worked Dog's match. And the North American champion, obviously, since he was the most popular guy in Mid-South Wrestling, same thing as in any other territory. He might have been the Florida heavyweight champion in Florida. He might have been the Mid-Atlantic champion in the Carolinas. He might have been, the regional titles, yes, because they change more quickly. You can do more angles. Everything's a personal issue. With a world champion, whether it be the NWA, WWF, or later on TNA, whatever, you have to be able to have longer matches. You have to be able, what they talked about in the Goldberg biography, right? Where at some point after you smash a guy over, now with the other main event guys, you got to be able to put some time in. You got to be able to vary your style up. You got to be able to do other people's shit. You got to be able to, go from different places. And sometimes you're going to have cold matches just for the title. So there's not a personal issue there to heat the match up and take some shortcuts. Dog was not technically proficient in working or legitimate wrestling or pro style wrestling. So to be a world champion and be the top, it's not about the popularity. It wasn't anything to do with race. It was just, he wasn't the right guy for that spot. And that doesn't mean he wasn't popular or a huge draw or a ticket seller for many of the same reasons, as well as how do you ever get it off of him? Andre never won the world title. But goddamn, a lot of the world champions wish they made Andre's money. So it just depends. But no, that was some of the reasons why JYD would have not been a world champion for a major company.
Do you think JYD should have considered getting a lawyer and suing?
Well, actually, I think that Bill Watts should have considered getting a lawyer and suing Vince McMahon for taking Junkyard Dog away from Mid-South Wrestling and hurting the business in New Orleans. But now, come to find out, 1984, he couldn't have done it, but now he can, because guess who's now doing cases in the state of Louisiana? That's right, the man, the myth, the legend, the one, the only.
Call Stephen P. News. If you need to sue. An outlaw mud show or two. Those are the rest.
Now I know what the folks out there are thinking. They're thinking to themselves, Cornette, you've just blown my mind. How can West Virginia's favorite son, the man who is synonymous with the Mountaineer State, how can he be doing cases and saving people's legal bacon down in the state of Louisiana, down there in the swamplands? And the answer is quite simple, ladies and gentlemen, because newlawoffice.com And Stephen P. New himself, phone number 888-692-8084. He's not just a West Virginia boy anymore. Of course, his loyalty belongs to the state of his birth, but he's spreading out all over the country. He's like Sherwin-Williams. He's covering the world. Do you know that the new law office, Stephen P. New and his various minions, are now handling cases, Brian, in Louisiana, West Virginia, Ohio, Kentucky, Maryland, Illinois, North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, and also Louisiana. He put that in twice. And they're coming to Tennessee, New York, and Texas. Hawaii and Montana stand by. But I'll tell you what, the reason for the incursion or excursion into the state of Louisiana is, you know, there's a company down there called Entergy. You've heard about the dodgy and the iffy power grids and things they got down there in the Southwest. The state of Texas, they freeze their people in the winter and they burn them in the summer. Apparently, this Entergy energy company in Louisiana, Texas, Arkansas, and I think one other state, they got 3 million customers. They're a Fortune 500 company. Well, they fucked a bunch of people around during Hurricane Ida in 2019, and Stephen P. New is about to, as Mama Cornette used to say, jerk a knot in their tail for it. So, again, newlawoffice.com spreading out around the world, across the country, and the opioid epidemic lawsuits and cases are about to go on the road in various locations. Stephen P. New is going to make the big pharmaceutical companies tap out to his clients, who many of them are also Cult of Cornette members, so they are well-versed in shoot wrestling. And Stephen's going to take them to court and tap all these son of a guns out. Can you imagine what an array? That would make a good-sized wrestling territory. Louisiana, Virginia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Illinois, Maryland, Kentucky, Ohio, West Virginia, and soon to get TV in Tennessee, New York, and Texas. What the new law office territory, the biggest geographic territory in today's modern legal territories. 888-692-8084.